He found her sitting on a bench near the bus stop, trembling as the rain soaked her clothes. She looked lost, but when he asked if she was okay, she simply nodded and insisted she didn't need help. Still, something in her eyes told him she was holding back tears. He offered his jacket without thinking, placing it gently around her shoulders. She hesitated, then accepted it with a polite thank you, her voice barely above a whisper. He sat beside her just long enough to make sure she wasn't alone in the storm. When the bus arrived, she stood up slowly, clutching the jacket like it was the warmest thing she had ever felt. He didn't ask her name and she didn't offer it. Before stepping onto the bus, she turned and gave him a small smile, grateful, soft, unforgettable. He watched her disappear behind the fogged-up window, thinking he would probably never see her again. Yet he was glad he had stopped, even for a moment, because kindness had felt like the right thing to do. The next morning, he returned to the same bus stop. His jacket was folded neatly on the bench, completely dry with a note resting on top. The handwriting was delicate, the kind that made you read it slowly. She thanked him for his kindness, explaining she had been going through something heavy, something she wasn't ready to share. She wrote that his simple act had reminded her that the world wasn't as cold as she had felt the night before. Days passed, but he couldn't shake the memory of her face, half hidden by rain, half shining with gratitude. He wondered who she was, what she was running from, and where she might be now. The mystery didn't bother him. In fact, it made her presence in his mind even more vivid. He carried the note in his wallet, folded carefully as if it were something precious. Weeks later, as he entered a small cafe he had never visited before, he heard someone call out to him. He turned and saw her sitting by the window, the sunlight touching her smile like it had been waiting for her. She stood and walked toward him, confidence replacing the uncertainty she'd worn the night they met. She told him she had come back to the bench every day hoping to see him again, wanting to thank him properly this time. He laughed softly, surprised but grateful that their paths had crossed once more. She admitted that she hadn't forgotten him, not the jacket, not the way he stayed without asking for anything in return, not the quiet comfort of his presence. He realized then that sometimes a single moment of kindness becomes the beginning of something neither person expects. They sat together, sipping warm drinks, talking as if they had known each other far, longer than a rainy night and a returned jacket. He had helped her without knowing who she was, but she made sure with her smile and her return that he would never forget her again.